A 16-year-old boy has turned himself into police. He is accused of a shooting at a Utica area high school during a football game. Good evening, everyone. I'm Samantha Croston. The 16-year-old suspect is facing 5 separate charges after a security guard at the game was shot in the back of his head. New tonight, our Morgan Scott has the latest.
Late in the fourth quarter of yesterday's football game, spectators here were expecting a celebration for the home team's first season win. But after hearing shots fired nearby, much of that celebration ended before it could even start.
EMTs at Proctor off from the football entrance. You're going to subject DSW load.
According to Utica Police, around 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon, towards the end of the Proctor High School's football game, a fight broke out in the stadium's parking lot after a group of people attempting to enter the game were denied entry.
Gunshot wounds at Proctor High School, 1203 Hilton Ave. Come off Armory Drive.
As 2 security guards at the game stepped in to break up the fight, one of them was shot in the back of the head.
Although he took the bullet, it can't be remiss that he was willing to place himself in danger to save those students and spectators that are at the game. We were very diligent in attempting to break up this fight. Unfortunately, those who carry guns just don't care anymore. They're willing to fire into crowds. They're willing to fire haphazardly at individuals.
The security guard is expected to have a full but long road to recovery. The accused 16-year-old shooter is not a student at Proctor, but he is enrolled in an alternative education program. Utica neighbors say they are fed up with young people committing crimes.
It's sad. It's sad and it's hurtful to know that these kids is getting guns from God knows where, to know that these kids is like so young in their age, like they're young. They're in like middle school, high school, their first year in high school. Some of them dropped out of school. But it's so sad to know like these kids is introduced to this thing at such an early age. They want to waste their life by shooting somebody.
Adams lives near Proctor High School. She was terrified when she heard shots ring out.
It's a scary situation because at the end of the day, what if I was walking by here with my kid? It could have been me. It could have been another little kid. It could have been anybody. Something needs to change. It needs to be like these kids need to dare to be different, especially in the city of Utica.
The school district and police department also announced that beginning on Monday, a lockdown will be in place for all schools in the district. And for the remaining sporting events this week, only parents will be allowed to attend. We have more of those policies in place on our website at cnycentral.com.
New tonight, for the first time since the deputy-involved shooting that left 2 Henniger High School students dead, we're hearing from the Syracuse mayor and Onondaga County executive. As emotions are high in the community and questions about what happened remain, these leaders share similar concerns, calling this a tragedy for all involved. The Onondaga County Sheriff's Office released the name of the deputy that fired the fatal shots Wednesday. They say Deputy John Rossello, a 7-year veteran of the Sheriff's Office, fired 3 shots at a moving car after the sheriff says he felt it was attempting to run him over. The 2 teens killed in the car identified as 17-year-old Dal Appet and 15-year-old Louith Moe. I-Team investigative reporter Mary Keeler puts the mayor and county executive on the record tonight.
Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh and Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon paying close attention after Wednesday's deputy-involved shooting, with 2 Henniger High School students now dead as a result.
Certainly thinking about their families, also thinking about the law enforcement officers and first responders that were on the scene. It's just a tragic incident all the way around. I've spoken with students and families, and on a day that should be a celebratory day, kids are back in school. And those 2 kids should have been back in school as well.
You have families that have lost their children, and then you have families of the deputy that are now in a situation that they never thought they would be in. So I think overall it's a heartbreaking event.
The Onondaga County Sheriff's Office says Deputy John Rossello fired his weapon 3 times at a moving car with 3 people inside, adding he thought that car was trying to run him over. And while the sheriff says he was wearing his body camera, he didn't have it turned on. Still, the sheriff defends his deputy, saying the situation unfolded quickly.
You say it's disappointing that the tool was on that deputy but not used.
Yeah, I think overall, I can't put myself in the shoes of the deputy because I wasn't there in that training and that level of intensity, but those cameras are there for circumstances that are very, very intense, so that they're there to protect the deputy as much as to of what the facts of the situation are. So certainly we really do need to have a clearer policy with the body camera usage for the deputies.
Mayor Walsh recalling plenty of situations where he's requested body camera footage from incidents involving Syracuse police.
This deputy had that body camera and didn't have it turned on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, body cameras have been an incredible tool in helping make sure that everyone involved is held accountable. And so anytime an incident happens with SPD, that's the first thing I ask for.
There is some security camera video from nearby that investigators are aware of, which could provide the only look at what really happened.
Hopefully we can calmly look at all the facts and contributing factors of how this happened and how can we avoid this from ever happening again in our community.
The Attorney General's office is in the middle of their investigation, which Mayor Walsh says adds another layer of commitment to figuring out what unfolded.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us for Weekend Today in Central New York on NBC3. I'm Maggie DeRogers. Let's start off your Sunday morning with a look at your weekend forecast. NBC3 Weather Authority meteorologist Violet Skyber is live out on the weather deck. Violet, how's it feeling out there this morning?
It's definitely a bit cool to start this Sunday, and we're really not expecting to warm up much. Plus, it will stay cloudy and gray with some on and off showers, even some thunderstorms later on through today. Starting off with the current conditions, right now temperatures sit at 67 here in Syracuse, and we're in the mid to upper 60s for the countryside locations as well. Plus, we're still dealing with some fog, but it is gradually beginning to lift as we go through the morning. Really not impacting visibility too much, but still something to mention if you live in those valley locations. We're also seeing some drizzle and light showers on and off across the region this morning as we take a live look from our triple Doppler radar sponsored by Falso Service Experts. You can see that cloud cover's thick over central New York, and we have some thunderstorm activity building in from the south, looking to reach us this afternoon and into the evening. So definitely want the umbrella today, looking like a long sleeve pants kind of day, maybe a light jacket for when those showers roll through. And if you're heading to the baseball game later on today, we'll also still be dealing with that rain. I'll be timing it out and looking ahead to the work week coming up in the forecast.
Violet, thank you. The first major detour associated with the future I-81 project in Syracuse. The state DOT will be closing the 81 southbound ramp at exit 16A, which takes drivers to 481 North beginning tomorrow. The ramp will close Monday, September 11th, and the new ramp won't open until the spring of 2025. Drivers on 81 South will see detour signs that take them off at exit 17 to Brighton Avenue, then to 481 North. The state DOT says they'll be monitoring how the detour impacts traffic and will make adjustments as needed.
If people decide to use the detour, we'll go in and we'll evaluate how much traffic is using this area, and we can adjust in coordination with the city, because some of the lights that are along this route belong to the city and some of them belong to the DOT. So we'll go in and coordinate with them on fixing the light signal so that traffic can flow smoothly through this area.
Nearly 5,000 cars currently take exit 16A a day. Saturday afternoon, gunshots were fired at a high school football game at Thomas R. Proctor High School in Utica. Authorities telling us Utica City School District security guard that was shot is still alive. Our Dale Ostrander went to Utica to find out more details about exactly what led up to the shooting.
The Utica Police have informed us that the security guard was shot in the back of the head. He is in critical but stable condition. At the press conference, Utica Police additionally informing us that 2 or more shots were fired after an altercation broke out at D'Alessandro Stadium in Utica. Utica Police say that a group of people were outside the field creating problems, wanting to get into the game. When they weren't allowed in, an altercation broke out, prompting 2 security guards to step in to try to resolve the fight, resulting in one of them getting shot.
And I do have to mention that I felt that security did a fantastic job. Had they potentially let this group that attempted to enter the stadium in the fourth quarter, you're talking, if shots had rang out, there could have been multiple victims that could have been jeopardized.
At this time, the situation is still ongoing. Utica Police have not determined a suspect as of yet. They will be reviewing all nearby cameras as well as social media posts to try and find the suspect.